I get challenged on my understanding of marriage and the idea of it. There's lots of challenges out there. If it's a viable path to life, life objective, or the best way to express love. So keywords today are going to be loving, as in loving actions, and approaches to life, and then unloving. If somebody does something, is it perverted? Is it selfish? Is it promiscuous? I'm going to be using the word unloving a lot. And then the final key word is what I'm referring to as the V-SPAL. V-SPAL. So it's the values, interests, equal, and then PAL. V-I-E, PAL. Partner for all of life. So to understand marriage, you have to do what has always been said, is to know yourself well enough, and then also be able to quickly identify and assess people, right? Because you can't love someone unless you love yourself. You can't, unless you really know who you are. You can't identify those traits in somebody else if that other person is also living out a certain value system. And talk about traffic. Jesus Christ. Okay, so if you're not living out, okay, so and then even if you're totally together and you've figured yourself out, then we're talking about another person. How do you make sure you don't, the last thing you want to do is like choose a person, then choose another person, and have made a poor choice, and those quote unquote relationships failed, and then your true love of your life ends up not being your first choice. And the reality is we live in relatively small social circles. Like, if you think about it, like the places you regularly go, maybe the club or school that you're in, people, then the maybe store that you frequent, or church that you go to, or mosque, or perhaps what else? Gym that you go to. There's only so people are gonna see who you are, and you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to mess up and be wasting someone else's time, attaching yourself sexually to someone who's not who's somebody who's ultimately going to be someone else's spouse. So that's not nice either. It's unloving. It's sure to affect the levels of trust in society, because people can't. So part of this is the microcosm, and then you have the macro, right? Like how a single person approaches. You can call it relationships, but it's really how they approach their sexuality and marriage. Like, people use all these words to try to trick people. They use words like, we're seeing each other, we're dating, well, it's my significant other, or that's my boyfriend or girlfriend, or that's my partner, or we're together, we're a couple. Like even I even challenge people who say we're engaged, because even that is not. I would say it's not loving. It's not. It's not marriage. It's not commitment. It's not true passion, because true passion would either want to be with somebody or not. With a true passion would either want to be sexually intimate or not, and not want to, like, sometimes on the weekends be intimate, or start off with only kissing, like, it's just not. It's not loving. See, the concept of love has to do with the concept of commitment, where you're committed to shared values and interests, and so marriage has to do also with the roles that you want to play. Like, some people, what they'll do is they'll start off as people who are boyfriend and girlfriend, and they'll like think in college, and then they'll think that, oh, we'll eventually get married and have kids. Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. It's, first of all, forget about what women are doing for a second. Men, the most efficient way to get married is obviously to, I just found a way to improve my audio, guys, so bear with me here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So essentially, want to you want to look at how you want the relationship to be. And remember, people will use even the word like relationship. It doesn't mean anything. It's ambiguous. We're in a relationship together. Does that mean you're having sex together? Does that mean you're committed to each other? Does it mean you are exclusively with each other? You know, it's not specific enough. And even the term marriage, that's why I use the term V-spell. I'm married to my V-spell. Even words like spouse are a little ambiguous because they almost imply more of a legal expectation. As opposed to a true spiritual and loving connection. So, whew, yeah. So, moving forward, so let's say you know everything you need to know for marriage, and including having a spiritual, like for me, people shouldn't even be married and have kids until the world is at peace. Probably take 5 years to do for people to stop pursuing the hedonism of having sex and pleasure until the world is a peaceful place, and then collectively throughout the world we can enjoy peace, and we can also have families in order to procreate and to have the joy of family life. And so the roles that we play in each other's lives, like you gotta, as a man, you have to clearly define it. You have to not waste your time in boyfriend-girlfriend situations like during college or during your years of starting your business, because why would you want to be worried about your source of income when you're already have a child? Like, you should have all that real stable, and it can take 5-10 years. That's fine. That's what it takes. And another thing is, don't want it to be easy. Enjoy the road of making meaning in your life, of learning skills and applying them. And I think there's another, I mean, you could make the argument that couples have children when they're, say, 25, maybe 30 at the latest, for the reason of that the child the highest chance of producing a high quality child is if the mother's younger and healthier. And I don't really like the idea of age gap marriages because it seems perverted. Like, why would a younger woman want to be with an older man? It seems gross and fake, because it's like she only wants his money, and he only wants her body, and they can't live out their whole life span together. Now, people will challenge me on these things, and the people who do challenge me are often not interested in marriage. They're not, they say, oh, I don't know about marriage because I've never been in one. Well, first of all, if I was in one, that means it would have failed. So how is somebody who's, and then people who are in a boyfriend-girlfriend, that's statistically more likely to fail as a marriage. Like, living together increases the odds that your marriage will fail. That's because in an ideal setting, it's that where the woman lives with her parents until marriage, and the man builds himself up so that he's very ready. So that he's ready for marriage, for love, right? Oh, yeah. Oh. So... So, another thing is that, you want to be, it has to be somebody that wants marriage. Like, there shouldn't be, like, whatever, and that's like you. Like, for example, I'm vegan. That person would have to be vegan. You shouldn't have to be convincing people of things. Now, maybe they've never heard of it. Like, you could ask somebody, what do they think of veganism? Or let's say you you say you're big into some type of music. You could ask them, what do you think about traveling? And if they'd be willing to consider a lifestyle to travel and maybe be the fan of a certain music group. But, and then what you'd be, the more critical things, would be stuff like, like, would you be willing to you don't want to be with somebody who smokes cigarettes in all probability. So, and then you have to ask yourself, so basically for men, the only reason that they want to have sex before marriage is because they want to have sex. Like if you remove the sexual element, what would you have? Men would have the patience to wait. So that means it's not about wanting to have sex, it's about wanting to have an orgasm. And you can easily do that for yourself. And also, men, you should not be hesitant. That's a very realistic pocket pussy, as it were. So men, once you're able to manage your orgasm, it can make you pace things out in the long run. And because that's what life is about. It's about longevity. It's about what you're going to do over the next 30 years. What's your life going to look like? Right? And part of this is about wanting people to feel good, and wanting to feel good, and wanting pleasure, and not wanting to be teased, not wanting to be like a partial commitment, because it's very half-hearted, and everything we do affects other areas of our life. So if you're like wishy-washy in one area, it's surely going to affect other areas of your life. Women are irrational. They do things like scream irrationally at concerts and get obsessed over guys. They get breast implants even when they were attractive before that. They wear makeup, which is very unpleasant to have on the face, and it's toxic. It gets in the skin, in the body. They get abortions, which a man would never do if he had a child. They they do things like use hormones to block, birth control, which obviously is going to affect how you operate as a human being. So why would you do that? Women also women choose men who aren't loving and committed towards them, because women want to always test men and see, like, is he strong enough to not be desperate, like not be only wanting me, and well, in a way that's good. That's one thing I think women do well, is it's like a shit test of wanting men to not be overly obsessed with the woman, and make it always based upon whether the man is more committed to his meaning, his life and his meaning, or is he more committed to just wanting her body? Yeah. In any case, it's been nice being present with you, wondering your thoughts. Make a comment on what you think. Maybe I'm missing something. The reason I mentioned the women being irrational, like, women like to have dogs instead of children. Women like to have all these fancy things instead of saving up money to, build a company or for their children. Like, and at the same time, I've done things like that, but like not save for a family, or not orient myself around the human life experience of, the idea of a family isn't just about having a child. It's about wanting to add your values into other people, the future generations. So I'm about to sign off here, but I do want to talk more. We will talk more, and yeah, I'd like to know some of your thoughts. So let's talk. Thank you. Thanks for chatting with me. I'd like it to be a chat. I'd like to see what people are thinking. So thank you, guys, and aloha. Take care.